What it is, guys, you got Lord of Tunes here today, and today we're going to be bringing you a fun deck tech for ROK Rhinar. I know a lot of Brute players have been going around talking about this amazing ROK card. I'm a Brute player as well, and I love the ROK card. So we're going to go ahead and get straight into this deck list as soon as possible. So to kick things off is our only weapon, just the one ROK. ROK is a really great card here. Let's just go ahead and read it real quick. So once per turn action, it costs 3 resources to attack. Activate ROK only if you have no cards in hand. Damage that would be dealt by ROK can't be prevented, and it swings for 7. So we're going to be trying to figure out ways to how to activate this if we get the ROK off. Main thing though is this whole deck will focus on discarding a lot of things here, and we're going to get heavily rely on scab skin rolls. For our headpieces, we are running the 1 Crown of Providence and a 1 Skull Horn here. Mostly we're going to be using Crown of Providence here as our main go-to headpiece, just for that extra block and being able to do a sink below style effect. The only times we really bring Skullhorn in is just for that AB2 against those pesky wizards or rune blades. For our gloves, though, we have 3 sets of gloves here. We have Skull Crushers, Null Rune gloves, and Gambler's gloves. Now, most people will probably go and want to recommend Gambler's gloves here because we are doing a heavy scab skin style rolling. But I seem to have more fun with the Skull Crushers here just because we play that high risk, high reward style. You know, if we get the 5 and 6, we get that extra attack on ROK, which now swings for 8, plus all of our rest of our brute attacks, we'll be swinging in for even more. Plus this also blocks for 1, which is really good into a lot of aggro matches. For our 1 chest piece, we only have 1 chest piece, which is the Fendel Spring Tunic here. Obviously, Tunic here is just a great card. Generic, gives you all your resources, and it's really going to be able to help get the ROK turns off. And for our feet, we're only running these scab skin leathers here. Again, we're going to be wanting to use this mostly just to try and get extra action points so that we can get ROK turns off. So we're going to go ahead and get straight into our red cards here. For our reds, we are going to be running 3 red Barraging Beatdowns, a very staple brute card here. Mostly Barraging Beatdown forces your opponent to either make them block with 2 cards, or you're just going to get big hits coming through. Plus, it's just free Intimidates. Can't go wrong with free Intimidates, folks. So one ways we're going to be able to get ROKs going is with some innate go again attacks. So we are going to be running 3 red Madcap Chargers here. Madcap Charger, again, it's a 1 for 5 card, really good, powerful card. You do have to discard a card, so it's going to help us empty our hands faster. And if we discard a 6 power card, we get this go again. Since it costs 1, we can use our Tunic resource plus this to be able to get ROK turns active. For our other go again package, we are running 3 Breakneck Batteries. A lot of people would recommend Wild Ride, but as for me, I hate that card. That card is disgusting. Not being able to block with that card is just horrendous. That's why I prefer Breakneck Battery here, just be for a 6 innate go again. Well, not innate go again, but usually you'll trigger the go again. Just being able to block for 3. Nothing really much to say about these. These are mostly our go again cards. All the other stuff, we would have to rely heavily on scab skin rolls. Some cards, though, that would be great, though, for us to be able to discard will be 3 Skullcracks here. Skullcrack is whenever it's discarded at random, you gain that extra resource. So on a Madcap Charger turn with this, you could be able to get ROK off with just 1 single blue card, or you can pitch that correctly or if you pitch that correctly, which I'll show an example here soon on how to do Breakneck Battery things. And because since we are playing more heavy discard style, some more heavy discard, want to empty our hands, we will be running the Massacres here. Massacre is a really good card. If it's discarded for a brute action card, you get to get an extra Intimidate. Or let's say you don't discard this and you have the extra action point, then this comes in for 8 with 8 with Intimidate, not Dominate. I don't know why I keep saying Dominate there. For some other red cards, some big powerhouse cards on turns we can't get the ROK off, we got 3 Swing Bigs here. Swing Big is just a great brute card, 2 for 8. And if they don't fully commit to blocking this, they don't get that Quicken token. Usually half the time, I never see people fully commit to blocking this unless they're about to die. We're also running 3 red Command and Conquers here. Command and Conquer is just a really powerful generic card here. Nothing much to say about Command and Conquers. If you do not have the funds, though, for Command and Conquers, though, I would recommend either Fendel's Fighting Spirit yellows or reds. Those are really good staples, too. They still swing for a big amount. They do cost 1 more, but they do give you that extra life and still kind of, quote-unquote, block for 3. And for our last of our red cards here, we are running the 3 red Pack Hunts. Just a 2 for 6 with Intimidate. Nothing really crazy here. So on Scab Skin turns, when we get the extra action point, we could start off with this to get that free Intimidate. Then follow up with the ROK for 7. We're going to go ahead and now get straight into our blues here. For blues, we are running again. Or not blues, my mistake. Yellows. I can't think right now. For yellows, we are running 3 Barraging Beatdowns again. Nothing really much to explain about the Beatdown cards. These are just a staple in almost any Brute deck. If you're not playing these in Brute decks, why are you even playing Brute to begin with? Because we do like Brute and we like discarding a lot, we are running Blood Rush Bellows here. This is a core key card, best card, probably one of our other second best Brute cards in this build. Not much to say about Blood Rush Bellows. It gives all your Brute attacks +2 for the turn if you can discard when you discard a random card, which half the time you're going to trigger that 6 power. Drawing the 2 extra cards again and go again is nice on this. There are ways though, excuse me, to still get Blood Rush turns off and being able to still attack with Rock, even though with the extra card draw it gives you. But I will explain some nice combos or God Hands when that happens. We are running 3 yellow Savage Swings here. It is a 1 for 6. It's just another kind of quote-unquote Madcap Charger in a way, just being able to, just has that 1 extra pitch. It does not have Go again, but again, when we get lucky with our Scam Skin rolls and get that 2 action points, this allows us to be able to attack with Rock and still come in for a good amount of damage. Now, some people would speculate, since this is a heavy discard style, we are running 3 Beast Withins. Beast Within would allow us to put our hand back in, but again, on certain turns where we just can't get the Rock turns off and we still have to play kind of traditional Brute, I find these really good. If you do not want to run these, I could recommend then the yellow Reincarnates. Reincarnate is just a simple discard at random. If it's discarded, it goes back to the bottom of your deck. So just ways to not deck yourself out and still have some extra power at the end of the second cycle. And to finish out our yellows, we are running 3 Smash Instincts. Again, it's just a yellow card that helps us pitch for a yellow 6. And on turns where we just can't get this off, this is just still a really good, consistent second cycle card to come in with. Excuse me. And now we're going to get to our blues. Again, we're running 3 more beatdowns. We're running the full rainbow beatdowns, folks. If you're not running the rainbows, what is going on? Since we do have, we are running also 3 Scan Sketch Plans here. Most of the time this is used for pitching and blocking, but there are moments where you are able to go tutor for a card. Let's say you have like 2 resources left and this is the last card in your hand. You could go find Skullcrack. And Skullcrack will be the only card in your hand to discard, so it allows you to get an Intimidate off and being able to still swing them with your Rock. We are running 3 High Rollers here. High Roller, because this is a, quote, High Roller deck, we're going to be rolling Scab Skins a lot. So if we do manage to get the 6 and this is off, this is a double Intimidate, folks. This has happened on rare occasions, but half the time it's used for pitching and blocking, or if we need that extra Intimidate just to guarantee like beatdown turns off. We are running 3 blue Awakening Bellows. Again, this is a 1-cost card, which is really nice. It just mostly is used for blocking and pitching. But there are moments where it's like if you have just this and another blue card, you could just use the 1 pay for the Intimidate and then swing with your Rock. I have done that a couple of times. It's really decent. Because LSS will never print us out any more of these or more styles like these. We are running the blue Wrecker Romps. This is just another staple for blue. It's a blue 6, which is great. LSS, please print more blue 6 cards for Brute, please. We are in desperate need of some blue 6s, unless you want to play Levia and get that 1 extra blue. And to wrap up our core part of the deck here, we are running 2 Reckless Swings. This is just mostly, again, for pitching and blocking. Obviously, for block, it's a defense reaction. But it just helps close out games against aggro decks when they're down at 2 life. Because who doesn't love it when they beat their opponents with a Reckless Swing? So now we're going to go ahead and get straight into our side package here, our side deck here. We are running the 1 Imperial Warhorn here. Now, this is a very situational card. It mostly comes up against Icelanders and Dashes. But I have found out because we are running a lot of Scab Skin rolls and we're getting those extra action points, we can utilize this and not lose our turn. If you do not want to run the Warhorn then and you want to have like a safety net weapon, I would recommend the Romping Club to just tag out for this. But again, this is a pure Rock build and we like swinging with the Rock. We're running 2 Arc Smashes here. This is again mostly for, not Icelander, mostly for the Dash players or potential Icelanders. But since Icelander lost her Amulet of Ice, this usually sometimes is just mostly for Dash. Nothing really until a new item hero-based hero comes out. Maybe we might see some stuff in Outsiders. We are running 3 Oasis Respites here. Again, this is just a good way for us to empty out our hands and still block cards. And getting a potential 4 block or 5 block if we need the extra 1 life. But this just mostly helps us with also Arcane Barrier too. We are running 3 red Rolling Thunder. Why am I saying this is a Majestic? We are running 3 Rolling Thunders here. Rolling Thunder is just another, it's a 1-cost go again. Plus, it lets us roll a die and give our next attempt brute attack whatever we roll on. So usually on Skullcrack turns, if we roll like a 6, our 6 now becomes a 7 with Skullcrack, and this for our Rock to come in for 14 damage. I would say Rock for 14 is really fun, folks, if you have not done it yet. Let me know in the comments, though, what the highest damage you got with your Rock with is. We are running 3 Epots here. Epots, again, is just another good way for us to get Rock turns off and gives us that extra resources. The reason this is not in the main deck, though, is because it does not block. So during side games where I have to go against like heavy aggro Deros, I might not bring this in due to the fact that it just does not block. We are running 2 Cold Foil, Amulet of Ignitions here. I used to run 3, but during test playing, since we are running a lot more rolls on Scab Skins, this seems very clunky then, because we have to do this first. So I'll go ahead and read it for you folks. So it's at instant speed. You can destroy the amulet, and the next ability you activate this turn costs 1 resource less. Activate this ability only if you haven't played a card or activated an ability this turn. So that's usually difficult. So this usually has to be the first thing you do at your turn. So if we go to activate this and then Scab Skins, well, Scab Skins used our ability. Now our rock still costs 3 again. Now a nice little combo though that you could do, like let's say if you have a empty hand, or you empty out your hand and all that, and you have an E-Pot and an Amulet of Ignition out, you can start with activating the Amulet of Ignition and then maintain priority to crack the E-Pot here to get the 2 resources, because then on the chain, this would activate follow up with this, meaning your rock now costs only 2 to still swing, and you just net the 2 resources from your E-Pot during that whole chain. So it's a nice way when you have to full block out a lot of attacks, excuse me, or you want to full block out, be very safety, and still come in with rock for 7. And to finish out on the rest of our deck here, we are running 2 red Cadaverous Contraband. This is a 2 for 6. If it hits, you may put a non-attack action from your graveyard on top of your deck. This is a really nice card, and usually slow fatigue cells. It allows you to get a lot of cards back, either beatdowns, E-Pots, amulets, blood rush. At the time, it's usually E-Pots for me, but if I do like a really good nasty blood rush turn, I might want to go get another blood rush turn, because no one likes seeing multiple blood rushes. So we're going to go ahead and get into some standard combos here of the deck real quick, just to kind of specify how we've been able to get rock turns off here. So let's say if we are starting with, we're going to scroll through our hand real fast. Breakneck Battery, obviously. Breakneck Battery, oop, the light just died out, but we're going to keep this rolling though, because we still have 1 extra light. So Breakneck Battery, obviously, it does cost 2, as you folks see here. So you're wondering, how do you get to attack with your rock with still Breakneck Battery? Well, that requires us to have at least either potentially a Tunic resource, usually Tunic resource, or let's say we have the Amulet of Ignition out. And let's say we're just going to go with this hand, okay? We block for 1 of our extra cards and we have the Amulet of Ignition. So we're going to go ahead and find that amulet real quick. Here we are. We got our amulet. So what we got here is a 1 blue card, a red card, this, and Amulet of Ignition. If you don't have the amulet, or let's say you had your Tunic up, resource up, that works also. So usually to start off this turn, we would go ahead and activate our amulet here just to trigger its effect. Once my camera wants to focus, there we go. We would trigger the amulet here and let him to now make it where our rock will only cost 2 resources now. We'll then come in, well, actually, scratch that. I know, just see a simple mistake I made. But so we essentially would have to have a full hand in order to do it with the Breakneck Battery. So usually what we'll end up doing then is we're going to come with our Breakneck Battery and we're going to pitch a red first, follow with a blue card. And now we have 2 resources floating, discarding the last card in our hand here to make sure that we guarantee the go again, and plus an Intimidate here. And because we have not activated an ability yet, we can now come in with our rock. There we go, our rock. We can now come in for rock for 7. We are now presenting here 13 damage. 13 damage is a lot of damage here. That's a little over 1/4 of someone's health. It's ridiculous how much damage output this deck can provide. And with all the extra Intimidates. Now let's say you have a really bad clunky hand and you want to be able to still trigger rock effects off. So some good turns I've been able to do is, let's say I have 2 beatdowns because we want to save our beatdowns. We got a blood rush, we got a beatdown, and we're just going to go ahead and grab a random blue card. And we need just 1 6 power card. So we're just going to go ahead and figure this out. So this is going to be our hand here. We're going to have this beatdown in Arsenal. So with this being our hand here, is a very good brute style hand, obviously, because we'll have double beatdown, follow up with blood rush. So usually what we'll end up doing is we'll play the beatdown to get the first Intimidate off, follow up with the second beatdown, get that second Intimidate off. Pitching here to activate our blood rush, discarding the last card in our hand. And we want to hopefully draw into either another 0 power card, or if we could find it, because I threw cards all over the place, like the beta I am, either scan sketch plans, or maybe like say if we drew into it and we just got the god hand here for a high roller. So usually, let's say, because we have still 2 resources floating here, we have no more attacks to be able to attack with this. We can obviously go ahead and high roller here to just get that out of our hand, and then scan sketch, like I said during a little tech here. We'll go find our last card in our hand, which would be Skullcrack here. And because this is the last card in our hand, and we are still required to discard at random by scan sketch, we would discard the Skullcrack to now net 3 resources to come in for ROK for automatically +2 here because of the Blood Rush here. Follow up with, let's see, this is a blue and a yellow. So we're looking at 5 extra damage, 5, 6, 7. So again, 14 damage. Again, for a quad Intimidate hand for 14. That is ridiculous how much damage this deck can be able to provide. And again, excuse me. We're going to go ahead and just clean this up just a little bit. But I'm hoping you guys really do like this deck tech of mine. I'm sorry this is a little bit quicker than usual because I am getting prepared to get a new video here soon going up, a Sienna Sealed History Pack. Stay tuned. We're going to be able to get those going here very hopefully within the next... Soon. We're going to say soon. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck tech here of ROK Rhinar. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Subscribe, like it. Do whatever you want with this. I'm just here to provide you guys some great deck tech videos. We'll actually do a little challenge. If we can get, we'll start small. We'll go 200 views. If we get 200 views on this, I will do a gameplay video then of me playing this ROK Rhinar build against one of my buddies who has gone to the Pro Tour here. So again, 200 views. If we could get 200 views on this video, I will play the ROK Rhinar and show you guys the crazy power turns that this thing has. But anyway, this is Lord of Toon signing off, and I hope to see you all in the arena.